as I want to do, I came up with a little game, and it is called Get With The Programme. The first half is over. You're eating your chips and ham. But to make the day complete, you should get with the programme. Okay, so I've read through the whole programme this morning, written a little game. You've got to guess the answers. You might know a couple of the answers. I don't know. I don't know how into Paget Rangers season you've been, but
well, I feel like I was not told of the homework.
What? You're not supposed to do homework. If you'd done homework, you'd have got all these answers right. So first one, question one. Which of these players is a real Littleton player who played in the game yesterday? Is it A, Guy Granite? Is it B, Jade Fellow? Or is it C, Ruby Johnson?
So, I didn't do the reading list.
Good.
This is like the Switch on Tagging one where we just went straight through every single answer.
Yeah. Well, we wrote about 20 questions and you did it in about 2 minutes.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of stupid guesswork.
That's
here.
Good. Yeah. Talk your answers out. See what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking. I want to see your workings. You get half a mark for workings.
So, when obviously we sat there watching the players, we know of them by number. So
yes,
just say,
that's right.
There's number 6. That's a good run down the wing,
Yep.
or a good shot from number 9.
I think number 8. Wait, was he called Matt? No, he wasn't called Matt. Number 8, who got the Man of the Match award for Paget. I feel like because those girls in front of us were cheering for him a lot all game.
Yes, yeah, he had a fan club.
Yeah, and they kept saying his name, and I can't remember it, so it's not helped.
Yeah,
he was the only one at the time whose name I did know.
So you've got to go through your reading list again.
I do, yeah. I mean, I've written down which one's the right answer on this. So it's okay. I don't have to guess.
Can I hear those names again?
You
I'll
certainly
go through which one I like the most.
Okay. Is it A, Guy Granite, B, Jade Fellow, or C, Ruby Johnson?
So I've listened to your podcast on numerous occasions, and so I'm assuming 2 of them will just be made up by you. And
maybe, yeah.
So I imagine you just spend your hours at work when you're not meant to be doing work, like thinking of silly names, or
pretty much.
When
yeah.
you're thinking voices, you're actually thinking of silly names for games.
Yes, I mean that's most of my life. Yeah, coming up with silly names for things.
I like the name. Is it Guy Granite?
Guy Granite.
I like that name. Let's go for that.
You like Guy Granite?
I like for entertainment value.
Very good. You are incorrect.
Oh,
unfortunately, no. Guy Granite is a great name, but he's unfortunately fabricated by me. The correct answer was Jade Fellow, who played for Littleton, maybe number 7, I think. Don't know.
So is he? Well, I suppose you won't know this. Is he one of the ringers that have really been to be brought in?
I don't know that, I'm afraid.
Qualities of the team
Possibly.
overnight.
Maybe Jade Fellow was in the Premiership last week.
Yeah. Guy Granite sounds like a sales director from like Massachusetts.
He does, doesn't he? Guy Granite.
Yeah.
It's a lovely name. Alliteration's always nice in names as well, isn't it?
Yes.
So I do try and put that in a bit more. Okay, question 2. Same thing again. Which of these is a real Littleton player? Is it A, Daniel Priest? Is it B, Neil Vickers? Or is it C, Alexander Pope?
Oh, those are great names.
See, a nice, what's the word? Religious theme here.
Yes, yeah.
Priest, Vickers, or Pope?
Oh, I mean, none of them were wearing any collars, so there were no
true.
visual clues.
No,
that's a shame.
And there wasn't one with a big hat, a stupid hat, and a big cane in the back of a motorcade or anything.
Yeah. So again, this is going to be guesswork based on which name I like the most.
Which the name is the best, yeah.
Yeah. Alexander Pope, I think, feels a bit far-fetched.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It just,
Nick Pope, he plays for Burnley.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Alexander, though.
Yeah, that's just the names switched around, isn't it? Pope Alexander is probably a real pope.
Yeah. What are the other 2?
Daniel Priest or Neil Vickers?
I'll go for Daniel Priest.
You think Daniel Priest was a real Littleton player?
Yes.
You are right. Well done, Daniel Priest. Don't know what number he played, can't remember. I think he was on the bench. I think he might have come off the bench.
Because, I don't know, Daniel Priest sounds more like Daniel is quite a common name, isn't it?
That's true. So is Neil, though.
Yeah.
And Alexander. I don't know. It doesn't matter how you got there. You got it right. Well done. Okay, question 3. Which of these are not real teams? Oh, sorry, is not a real team who Paget Rangers, I keep saying that, they're going to be called that by the end of this week. Which of these teams are not a real team that Paget Rangers played this year? Is it A, Heather St John's? Is it B, Sporting Calsa? That's spelled Khalsa.
Yeah.
Or is it C, Real Nuneaton or Real Nuneaton?
I know that Sporting House is a real team, so I don't know if they're in Paget's league or not, though.
They don't have to be in the league; they just have to have played them this year.
Oh, okay.
There was
it might
cup
be a
games.
Game. There's a lot of cups at that level.
There is, yeah, and Paget are not in any of them anymore. As we'll hear from Tom later on.
I think they won a trophy last year.
Did they?
Yeah.
They got promotion from the league a couple of years ago, didn't they? From the league below.
Yeah. So we've caught Paget on a downward trend, it seems.
Yeah, well, they're doing all right. They're mid-table. They're doing all right.
Yeah, no cups though.
No cups, no, that's true. Well, they're aiming to be high in the league. That's what it is. They went out of the cups on
more
purpose.
More players, don't they? More than 0.
That's right. More than 0.
Okay. Heather St John's. I think that's a real team as well.
Yeah.
I think that name rings a bell. What was the last one?
Real Nuneaton or Real Nuneaton.
I really want that to be a team. That's a beautiful name. There is a team in Nuneaton. I don't think they're called that though.
No,
they should be.
They should.
I think you should get over there.
Go all whites. Yeah.
Yeah. Wear a marketing hat.
Yeah.
Like to pretend you know what you're doing.
My marketing pope hat. Pretend I know what I'm doing. How dare you?
Yeah. Just say. I've got a great name for you. It's only going to cost you this franchise fee for the next 20 years.
Smart, money making.
Okay, let's go for a Real Nuneaton.
You think Real Nuneaton are not a real team? You are correct. Well done, that's right. They couldn't call themselves Real Nuneaton, could they? Stupid.
Oh, it depends how flashy you are. If you're wearing pink boots, call yourself whatever you want.
That's true. That's very true. You're right. Heather St John's are top of the league in Paget's league. Sporting Calsa not in the league, but they did play them in the Walsall Senior Cup.
The Senior Cup?
They did, yeah. I don't know if that is like a Seniors Cup, like over 60s. I don't know if that's true or not. I'll have to ask.
Yeah.
Real Nuneaton are not the real team. They're actually called the Nuneaton Griff.
It's a pretty good name as well.
It's a cracking name. Yeah. I should have put that as one of the other names because that's a really good name. They're actually the next home game.
Okay.
They'll be seeing them next week.
Real Nuneaton, though, is a cracking Sunday league or six-a-side name.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Where you don't have to be so serious.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're on the proper pyramid, if you're in the amateur league, that's a great name.
Sporting Calsa is a pretty good name as well. I don't know what is Calsa. It can't be a place.
Is it one of the 5Ks of the Sikhism?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Oh,
I think
good
so.
knowledge. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds good. So it's like an all Sikh team.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think it was set up for the Sikh community, but anybody can play.
Okay, it's just set up in like a Sikh area.
Yeah,
that's really cool. You learn something every day, don't you? I like that. Question 4. Paget have played Littleton 3 times before. How many have Paget won? You got no answers for this. There's only 4 answers it could possibly be, so I'm not giving you an ABC. It's between 0 and 4. 0 and 3.
What I do know from reading the programme, but not the right part of the programme, is the attendance for the reverse fixture.
Do you?
The poorest attendance of the entire season.
Was it? Oh, no.
There were 20 people when they play Littleton at Littleton.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so clearly...
shows we know that they're bottom of the league as well. So
they were at the time.
Yeah,
they were properly bottom of the league without the good players.
Yes, before the current upturn of there was 2, I think, that's yesterday that I saw 2 Littleton fans that I saw in the crowd. I sat next to them for a bit.
Yeah, did they have because there's a little stand in the corner by the clubhouse? Is that where the FA fans are?
That was where they were in the second half. I think quite often in non-league football, people just switch ends so that they can see the goals. Because I when Paget scored their goal yesterday, was down the other end, couldn't see a thing, could not see a thing.
It's a really good finish as well.
Yeah, it looked really good. I saw the goal. I saw the ball go up and down, but I couldn't really see what was going on.
You see the kicking part.
Yeah, exactly. But
okay, so they've played 4 times.
They played 3 times.
3 times.
They played 4 times now, but this was from the programme 3 times before.
Okay, and how many have Paget won?
How many have Paget won?
Well, I'm going to go on previous form, as in before the Ringers arrived.
Yep.
And I reckon I'm going to show faith in Paget. I reckon they won all 3 times.
You think Paget won all 3 games?
Yes.
You could not be more wrong. Paget did not win a single one.
They draws at least.
They got 1 draw. Littleton won the other 2, and now 3 because Littleton won again yesterday.
Okay, maybe Matt was just lying about these ringers.
Yeah,
Just
Paget just can't play against Littleton.
Yeah.
It's obviously a bogey team for them.
Yeah, maybe they've got like compromising photos of Paget.
Could be, yeah. Oh, we talked about tanking just before. So. Okay, question 5. This is to do with attendances, which we just were talking about. What is the highest Paget home attendance this season?
Oh, go on.
Oh, yeah. Have you got insight on this, have you?
Maybe.
Okay. Is it A, 148? Is it B, 168? Or is it C, 181?
It's 181.
You think it's 181?
Yes. No, I think it's against Atherstone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went to this fixture last season.
Okay.
And
the Paget Atherstone.
Yeah, at
Mm-hmm.
Paget.
Mm-hmm.
And Atherstone are... Walsall Wood were the best team, as in they had the most money and went up. And then Atherstone had the biggest away following.
Right.
Paget, I don't know, maybe had 20, 30 fans. And
right. The rest of them was just Atherstone players.
Or actual coaches
Whoa.
of people.
That is pretty impressive at that level, isn't
Yeah.
it? So you're going 181?
I am, yeah.
You are incorrect.
Oh,
Unfortunately, that was the away game at Atherstone.
Oh, good too.
Yeah, the home game.
In my head, I thought I can't leave it that.
That was the away game. The home game against Paget was 148.
Oh, dear. I got cocky, didn't I?
You did get cocky. You were like, yes, I know this straight away. To be fair, that was the highest attendance all season, but that was away at Atherstone.
Yeah.
So they are second in the league at the moment, Atherstone.
Yes.
They are looking like promotion, but quite a way behind Heather St John's, who are top of the league, about 8 points behind with only 5 games to play.
Yeah.
Question 6. How long has Kevin Horton been a Paget fan? Now, this was the fan in profile in the programme this week. So I'm assuming you know this one, because you obviously read the whole programme. I'm not even going to give you options. Just tell me.
No.
No, okay. A, 30 years. B, 50 years. Or C, 70 years.
70 years. That would be amazing.
It would, wouldn't it?
So
Paget Rangers has been going a long time. Formed in the 1930s.
yeah, so I take it this doesn't count the period of the club that was dormant.
So it did say on and off, because obviously the club was out of commission for about 10 years in the early 2000s.
Before Matt reformed it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
30, is it 30, 50 or 70?
30, 50 or 70 years.
70 years. Let's go for... he's clearly been around supporting the club for a long time.
Yeah.
Whatever the answer is, that's got to be greatly admired.
Yeah, good work, Kevin.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah. So I'm interested in that kind of thing. Is like, does he have a bigger team of sports as well, and he goes to watches as well as Paget?
Yeah, I mean that's how I've always treated non-league football. Like I would always go to non-league football games because they're much easier to get to. They're a lot more local, a lot cheaper. But I'd always have a higher up team as well that I would support on match of the day because you have to, don't you?
Yeah. I'm going to go for 50, and
50?
if I ever see him, because I know his face for the programme, of course.
Yeah. Well, we'll see him next week, won't we? We go to the Rail and Eton game. So you think 50 years?
Yeah, and if I ever do see him, I'll have to buy him a drink because that is some
very
top
good.
class support.
You are absolutely right. It is 50 years. Very good work, Kevin. That is a long time to support a club for, isn't it? 50 years. And
that is true loyalty.
It really is. And you do see that, I think, for little local teams like that, because it's not a huge effort to just wander down on a Saturday afternoon, wander into the ground. It was very easy to get in the ground yesterday. I didn't no one asked me why I was there. I just wandered in. Tom came down and said hello, and I just wandered in with Tom. I did get there quite early, but
yeah, I mean there is somebody on the turnstile.
There was, yeah, but there was also a big gap next to it where you could just wander in. Yes, so you're right. 50 years it was. How are you doing? You've got 3 out of 6 so far. 50%.
What's the pass mark?
I think 50%. I think 50% is good because it's a 1 out of 3. So the average would be 33. So if you get 50, you're doing very well.
So it's not like pass merit distinction, is it? Is it just pass or fail?
It's just pass or fail.
Yeah.
And if you fail, you have to get out of my house.
Well, I was going to do that anyway.
That's true, yeah.
I'm going to get out sooner.
No, if you pass, you have to stay.
This is very confusing. I'll call in 6 tomorrow.
So you're going to start tanking for now. Question 7. If he was a millionaire, what would Kevin Horton buy for the club? Is it A, a stadium? Is it B, 11 professional players? Or is it C, a little rowboat for Matt so that he doesn't have to go in the brook with his waders on to go get the ball?
If it was D, that would be incredible. I suspect you put over comedy value.
If you want to know what that's about, listen to the interview with Matt later on. It's very funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because there was one incident where the ball was just booted over a stand.
Yes, it didn't happen yesterday. It went on the top of the clubhouse yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah.
But the side of the ground is right next to a little babbling brook, which, when it gets rainy, can get quite deep, as Matt will tell you.
So Paget don't own their own stadium.
They don't.
At Sun Coalfield,
That's right.
and they've played at others. They used to have one back in the day, like going quite back, and I think it was quite a traumatic experience when they lost it.
It's very expensive to own your own stadium and to have your own ground, and especially at that level. It's like Sutton Coalfield is a lovely ground that they play at, and they've got a long-term lease there now, so they're very stable where they are now. But I don't think they would want their own stadium at the moment, as it turns out.
11 professional players. I don't know, how long does that last? A couple of seasons, maybe? I don't know.
Professional players, you don't have to pay them that much for them to be professional.
Yeah.
£10 a week.
But put them on universal credit.
Exactly, yeah. To declare it down the job centre.
No, I'd assume professional will be full time. Yeah, because other teams in the league will be paying. Probably rolling a tenner a week.
Yeah, there's already a semi-professional aspect to the league, isn't it?
Yeah, Paget are in the minority in that league. I think, not paying.
Yeah, they're actually doing really well for a team that doesn't pay their players. They're doing very well in the league.
Yes, yeah. Okay, what's option C?
A little rowboat for Matt.
I can't. Now, Kevin Horton's obviously a loyal guy.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if his sense of humour matches. I don't think it'll be that one.
Okay.
I think it would be a new stadium because I think it would be a point of pride for the team to have. And also, whilst maintaining a stadium is quite expensive, the way quite a few non-league teams survive is by owning a bar.
Yes.
And then having functions of events in the bar.
Which is what happened last night, actually. We were kicked out of the main bit of the Sutton bar because there was a bar mitzvah or something going on. I don't know what it was going on next door, but it was pretty raucous, wherever it was. Yeah,
I went to a Castle Vale game a couple of years ago, and they basically had a purpose-built stadium for them, which I think was partly council-funded.
Yeah.
And they basically own the stadium, so when they have events, they keep the bar tab, basically. They keep the revenue, and that's how they fund. They have loads of teams there, and that's how it's all funded. Yeah. Whereas Paget struggles, and my local non-league team, Northfield Town, also struggles to raise revenue because they don't own anything like that. Yeah. So they hire the pitchers, and then they have to...
You get it out of ticket sales, and that's it.
Yeah, and sponsorship. Sponsorship is a big money earner at that
that's
level.
what we did again yesterday, wasn't it? We put money into the kitty for the game to go on.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for a stadium.
You think their own stadium?
Yeah, because I think Kevin knows the history of the club and probably was around when the stadium was lost.
Yes, he clearly does, because you're right. It is a stadium. You're right, 11 professional players. It'd be good for a little while, but that £1 million isn't actually going to go that far.
Yeah, maybe go 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
But once you get up so high, and then you got to maintain that level of spending.
And you've also got to, if you're playing at someone else's stadium still at that point, it's going to be difficult still. You're going to have to keep generating the revenue, as you say. Yeah. It's much better to have your own stadium to keep generating your own revenue.
Yeah. That's what football managers should teach you.
Yeah, that's right.
You invest in the training facilities first.
Exactly.
And you try and get a stadium.
Yeah. So, Kevin, good work. You've been playing Football Manager. Good work. Question 8. We've already spoken a little bit about this. Which of these was Paget Rangers' most recent triumph? Which was their most recent trophy in their trophy cabinet? Is it A, the Smedley Crook Memorial Cup? Is it B, the Lee James Challenge Cup? Or is it C, the Midland Floodlit Youth League Championships?
Say the first one again. I've never heard of it, but it's a beautiful name.
The Smedley Crook Memorial Cup. Now, I don't know who Smedley Crook is, but it does sound very good. It's a very good name, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds
Crook.
like out of Lord of the Rings.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
I know the Shires in South Birmingham.
That's true, yeah. Well, you might be from that area. You don't know. You don't know where Smedley's from. It might be a pan-Birmingham cup.
yeah. I've not heard of that one, though. What was the second one? I think
the Lee James Challenge Cup.
I have heard of the Lee James Challenge Cup. And then the final one?
And the final one was the Midland Floodlit, I can't say that word, Floodlit, Youth League Championships.
I don't think Paget have a youth team. I think they would have.
We know they've got a seniors team.
Maybe it's just Matt.
Just Matt on his own.
In his rowboat. Collecting the balls and giving them back.
Well, if you played in goal and strapped it to his back, that'd help, wouldn't it? You have a lot of coverage of the goal.
Yeah. So I don't think Paget have a youth team. I think it's on the wish list, isn't it? Because youth teams are expensive to run.
It's also another way to generate new players. Basically, having a youth team, isn't it? Then your players come through that, and you don't have to worry about trying to find them just off the street, which is it's good.
That's what they do around.
That's what they do at the moment.
Colford, hang on, leaflets. Be on my team,
come
please.
for my youth team.
No. Yeah. And also with youth teams, there's lots of parents involved for better and worse.
Yes, that's
parents
very true.
Be volatile beings.
Yeah, I mean they tend to be there as fans, so you maybe would get a bit of ticket revenue from that.
Yes,
but yes, they can be very hard to manage at times.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go for B.
You're gonna go B, the Lee James Challenge Cup. You are right.
Yeah,
they won that in 2016-17 season.
Yeah, I think. Tannoy Town will clarify this. That season they won that trophy, I think was maybe the season before. No, so Tannoy Tom's 30th birthday may have been the season after that.
Oh, okay.
Because they were parading a trophy around Tannoy Tom's birthday.
Oh, yes.
Tannoy Tom had his 30th birthday at the old clubhouse.
Oh, right.
They played the season.
The season before.
Yeah.
They also got promotion from the Midland Football Second Division in that year as well. So they did that and won the cup. So maybe they would have trophies for both of those, possibly.
Potentially, yes. I think there was more than one trophy there.
Yeah.
So that was that was really nice.
A banner year for them.
Yeah. Cause I was talking about the community feel earlier. That Tannoy Tom's 30th birthday was really nice because all the players were there. His friends separately from football as well. But all the players.
Yeah, that was really nice yesterday actually. When we were sat with Tom having a drink after the game. Every time a player would leave, they would come and shake Tom's hand and say, "Cheers, Tom, and see you later." And that it was really nice. He's not been there all that long, but he's been very involved with the club, and all the players do respect that. I think the fact that he gives a lot of his time up to actually being part of the club.
Yeah,
really
and we touched on it earlier, but just to go into a bit more detail. Yeah, so being able to have a drink with the players afterwards, being able to talk to them, really shows that it's part of the community. You don't have the big bridge divide where you'd have in the professional game, and the higher you got the professional game, whereas you would never be allowed within 50 feet of where
exactly.
You'd never be allowed within these, at most you might be able to get a selfie, and that's about as much as interaction as you can get. Whereas at that level, and actually in the women's game as well, is really good for it. Even the Women's Super League, the players are far more accessible. So if you want to go and have a chat with one of the players, you're free to. So, for example, last season I went to watch Aston Villa ladies versus Watford, and the Villa captain at the time was injured, but she was just at half time with all the fans having chats.
And that's really good.
And so it's the same that applies with Paget. That all the players will have day jobs. They all because the Paget don't pay their players.
It's not a paid gig, is it? So they're all just blokes, really. Just blokes. It's like playing down the park, really. They're just playing on a stadium. That's the only difference.
it's a bit more serious in the sense they do have training sessions and they're in a semi-pro league per se, so they're there to try and progress, to try and better themselves. It's a bit different to Sunday League where it's just about
it is. Yeah, obviously it's a higher level than that, but it has that same sort of feel about it. I think of the players are just blokes; they're just people. You definitely get more of a feel that they are humans rather than just like people to shout at. Really, you don't get the same abuse, I don't think, of players when you are then going to go and have a drink with that player after the game.
Yes,
which is it's good. I mean, whether that would be the same at the high level, probably not, because there's obviously you wouldn't be allowed. But even if it were to happen, I think in the old days that it would have been a thing that people did. They would have just gone, even at like the highest Premiership level, they would have gone and had a drink after the game. It's just changed, and maybe it's just the world that we live in. Really, that it's not so much that it would be a bad idea. It's just the fact that people are more paranoid about things happening these days than they were in those days.
Yes, yeah.
So yes, the Smedley Cook Memorial Cup they won in 2013-14, and the Midland Floodlit Youth League Championships they won in 1999, so that was before the Reformation.
Okay.
So that makes sense that they probably don't have a youth team at the moment.
Yeah.
It would be hard to have a youth team without having your own stadium, probably. It's probably not the thing that you have before you have like your own ground. It's something that comes later, a youth team probably.
You can. It's just it's finding time when you can train.
Exactly.
Finding a league that fits around other team priorities, because other teams will get there first.
Yeah, finding somewhere to play on a Saturday is not the easiest, is it? It's when you're ground sharing.
The Castlevale example I gave earlier, quite a few ladies teams and teams play there. It just all fits around the Castlevale play.
Yeah, Tom was saying there was a ladies game, the Sutton ground we went to yesterday. It was the Sutton ladies were playing before the Paget game. If I'd known, I would have gone along. I would have gone and seen it, because I didn't know it was on. But I'd have liked to have gone and watched that to see, because I've never watched women's football at that level. I've watched higher level women's football, but never like lower league teams. So I'd have liked to have gone and seen that. I might see if I can go to another game soon.
Yeah. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I'll ask Matt, because I didn't know there was a double header either.
No. I mean, there was no evidence of it when we got there, was there? It must have been a bit earlier on. But the other thing that I really enjoyed about the ground is it's an all-weather pitch. So you definitely know when you're going down, if the game's due to be played, it's going to be played, unless there's like 10 inches of snow.
Yes.
The game is going to be played. The rain, it's not going to get rained off. There's not going to be a quagmire, which non-league level in the old days used to be an absolute nightmare. Games getting postponed, like games getting abandoned halfway through because of the weather.
Yeah,
it's not a thing at that level anymore, and I really like that. I've had the fact that they have really managed to make the season work, because it used to be that in winter, even at Morecambe's level, when I was following Morecambe in the 2000s, they would have a lot of games cancelled over winter, and then they just have a massive fixture pile up at the end of the season, so many injuries, and it would just really affect the way the league table looked, because it's just not it's not fair, is it? If your ground just isn't good enough, or other people's grounds because you're playing away games, it just meant that your fixture pile-up meant that you weren't going to win the league. You'd be like 9 games back from the next team above you. You have loads of games in hand of them, but you'd be so far behind in points, and it just was difficult for a non-league fan, which is something that they've worked hard to avoid now. It's just good.
Yeah, I went to a game a couple of years ago at Rushall Olympic, like just north of Warsaw, I think, and the team they were meant to be playing came from like 300 miles. I know, like Skegness or something, so like really far away. We were meant to go to a Redditch match, but that got cancelled. Went to go to an Altresh match, that got cancelled. And the only reason this one kept going was just because the team could come so far on that they couldn't really
send them back.
You couldn't really see the ball.
It's crazy.
You can't send them back if you travel for 3 miles. For 3 hours plus to get there.
Wow, I would be very annoyed if I'd come all that way and then the game got cancelled. So.
And they had a sizable fan base as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're considering the team how far they've come. They brought a good 50 or 50,
really
70
good.
pounds.
Yeah, you can't really call the game off at that time, can you? Well, talking of fan attendances, question 9 is, which of these teams in Paget Rangers' league, which of the attendances have gone up the most this year?
What, as a percentage?
In percentage, yes. Ooh. Is it A, NKF Burbage? Now, I don't know what NKF stands for.
Neither do I.
No, might have to look that up. Maybe, I wonder if it's another of the Sikh things. If it's got a K in there.
don't know. Burbage doesn't sound like a Sikh community though.
No, I don't know. I don't know where Burbage is.
Isn't it?
Is it? Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, probably not then. So NKF Burbage, is it B, Hinckley, or is it C, Roster? Is that how you say it? Yeah.
How do you spell it?
Rocester.
Oh,
Roster, I think. I did look at roaster. I think it's roaster. Yeah, like a potato. That's how I remembered it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because British names don't follow any rhyme.
It's so complicated, yeah. You can see it written down and be like, it's probably said like that, but I'll never find out.
Yeah, try to explain how you say Leicester to an American.
Exactly. Leicestershire is great.
Okay. I don't know if any of our new teams. I've not heard of the last one.
Roaster.
Yeah, maybe they got promoted or a new form team. If they didn't exist before and then they exist this season, that's a massive percentage increase, isn't it? I don't know how you go from zero
fans
to 100.
I don't think teams don't exist and then come into this league. I think they have to go in at least a level below, because I think that's what Paget did. They went in at least one level below.
I don't know.
So I don't think you can just create a team and come into this league unless it was a team that has just gone bust and they slide down the leagues a bit, but still have a lot of the infrastructure from their old team left.
What happens when a double glazing Empire salesman comes in with his wads of cash and saying, I've got these players all lined up? And
yeah, that's true. Yeah, but usually that's around like a team that's literally just gone bust rather than creating a new team. I think if you create a new team, you just have to go in at the lowest level possible
and just spend all your money and get the league straight away.
Yeah, I mean that's happened to quite a few teams in non-league football. I remember it. I can't remember any specific examples, but I remember it happening in the old days.
Yes.
Fleetwood Town were one of those, actually. Fleetwood have gone up. They're like League One, I think, now, but they had a massive cash injection when they were sort of Conference North level, maybe even the league below. Probably they were in Kendall's league when I used to watch Kendall, and they got a massitive cash injection and just went up and up and up through the leagues, just because they just had a bloke who lived in the area who was like, yep, I'm going to put some money into the team, and they didn't fall foul of the financial fair play leagues.
Yeah, they don't have that.
No, they don't. No. I mean, if they'd had the scrutiny, they probably would have fallen foul of it, but they don't. You're right, they don't have the investigators at that level.
Okay, I'm going to go for Hinckley.
You think Hinckley have their attendances increased the most?
I imagine Hinckley has a sizable community to be able to draw fans from.
That's true. You are incorrect.
Oh no.
Hinckley have gone down by 39%.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
What happened to them?
I think Hinckley used to be higher up in the league, so I wonder if they may have got relegated last season. Because they still do have a sizable, for the league they're in, they have quite a sizable fan base, but their percentage has gone way down.
Is that by the nuclear power plant?
I don't know, actually. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe all their fans died of cancer.
Could be.
Yeah.
That's very, very Friends of the Earth thing to say.
That does not reflect official Friends of the Earth.
The correct answer was NKF Burbage, who have gone up by 50% this year. That's a big increase, isn't it, in fans?
Do you have some numbers there?
I can find them in the programme. It's in the programme. Here we are.
If it goes from like 4 to 8, that's not as impressive.
No, it's not. No, that's true.
50.
No, so Hinckley have gone down by 39%, but their average is still 145 fans a game.
That's got to be good for the league.
It's very high, yeah. They're second in the league, only behind Atherstone, who get an average of 213 people, which is huge, isn't it? Who are we looking at? So NKF Burbage, they are fifth in the league for attendances. They're up to 92 average. So pretty good, but not. They must have had a pretty low average last year of 60 odd.
Yeah.
So it's easier to go up by a higher percentage when you don't have that many to start with, isn't it? Roster have gone up by 42% to 91, but they had the second highest attendance of 312.
Wow,
that's a lot, isn't it? The only Racing Club Warwick got more people than that, 365. That's very high for Racing Club Warwick. I've ticked that. I'm going to cross it because you didn't get it right. As you know, I'm not great at this.
Common theme of the quizzes.
When I said you got 3 out of 6, I've no idea if that's right or not. I think I've been pretty good, but I don't remember. Final question 10. At the time of recording, which of these teams are in the Midland Football League Cup final? So this has got a historical theme to it. Is it A, Romulus? Is it B, Remus? Or is it C, the Coventry Sphinx?
I like the names.
They're great names, aren't they, for football teams?
I don't know the answer, but the Coventry Sphinx, I mean, that's my favourite of the three.
It's very good, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you seen their logo? Does it have a Sphinx on it?
I mean, I can only assume a Sphinx with, I don't know, no tyres, because it's Coventry, isn't it?
I work in Coventry, so I'm going to say no comment to that.
Yeah, well, you want your tyres to still be on your van next week, don't you?
Yeah. Romulus. Well, I think they're all real teams. I know there's a Romulus team in Sutton Coldfield. I don't know why that has the name.
No, me either.
Names. So.
But I mean, there's only so many names, isn't there? So everyone can't just be called Sutton FC. You got to go for different names every now and again.
Yeah.
Plus, it's really easy then to do a club badge, isn't it? When you're called the Coventry Sphinx, it's so easy. You know what your badge is going to be.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. No real good logic to this, but let's go Coventry Sphinx.
You think the Coventry Sphinx?
Yeah.
You're incorrect, unfortunately. They are in the semi-finals, but the semi-final has not been played yet.
Oh, I got it. So it's... I could be right.
What did I say? At time of recording, Shaz. Listen to the question.
What's the appeals process?
You can write to the English Football League. You have 14 days to appeal.
Or I'll write to Ben.
You can write to Ben. Just see what he does.
He probably sends up frisbees or something.
No, the correct answer was Romulus. You were right, that is a real team.
Yeah.
And they are in the final. They won 2-0 in their semi-final. Coventry Sphinx are still to play their semi-final.
I could be right.
You could be right.
Yeah.
But they haven't played yet, so we don't know. And Remus I just made up. But so you got those two wrong, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 out of 10. That is a passing. It could be, well, if you listen to the question, if you showed your work in, you know. So I think you are half with the programme, and I'll give you that. That's pretty good. 5 out of 10.
The first half is over. You're eating your chips and ham. But to make the day complete, you should get with the programme.